Tonight, the Wolverines of Utah Valley look to hang on to first place in the Western Athletic Conference as they play host to the Redhawks of Seattle U. It's a great matchup tonight. You've got front row action coming your way next on UVU TV. Welcome to the UCCU Center. We're in Orem, Utah, about 45 minutes south of Salt Lake City, where the Wolverines of Utah Valley, currently #1 in the Western Athletic Conference with a conference record of 8-1, entertaining Seattle University. The Redhawks come in here in 7th place in the WAC at 3-6. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim McCullough alongside Matt Peterson. Kind of a unique situation, Matt, for Utah Valley. Everybody's looking up to them.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in because when you're the top team, everybody is gunning for you. And whether you're at home, whether you're on the road, you have to be prepared because you know that every team you play against knows you're in first place and they want to beat the first place team. So Wolverines are going to have to be on their game every single night going forward.
UVU 8-1 in the conference. We already talked about that. New Mexico State, Grand Canyon, Chicago State, all with 3 losses. So UVU with a game-and-a-half lead over New Mexico State and Grand Canyon. Seattle comes in here, though, 3-6 in conference play. And the first time these two played, it was just a 1-point victory for UVU up at Seattle. In fact, it was kind of a miracle finish for the Wolverines. A pretty good matchup tonight. Key players you're looking for, Matt, for UVU.
Yeah, I think you just mentioned it, Jim. We're going to have a great matchup tonight. For the Wolverines, we're going to take a look at Kiabe Enos. He's 8 for 9 from the three-point line over his last 3 games. That's what he does. He gives the Wolverines an outside presence and an outside shooting threat. And then you've got Dick Hunsaker, scored a UVU season high 29 points in the win a couple nights ago at Grand Canyon. So we're looking at the guard play, the guard matchup to start for the Wolverines.
All right, so that's the Wolverine side of things. What about for Seattle?
Yeah, we're gonna watch for Devon Pickett and how well he plays. He's going to have to give them a solid start to the game. He's averaging 16 points per game over his last 3, so he's coming in with a ton of confidence. And then you have Isiah Umipig, who leads the WAC in scoring. That's all you really need to say. He's a scoring threat. He averages 18.8 points per game. So we're going to get a matchup on him with those 2 players, Holden and Kiabe, on these 2 players. So it's going to be a guard night.
It was a bummer of a game for Seattle up at their place. To a man, they thought they should have won that game. They had the lead with 3.9 seconds to play. Mitch Brunel stole the ball, got fouled. The Iceman hit a couple free throws to win this thing. So if the Wolverines are going to win tonight, what do they got to do?
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you one thing, too, is that Seattle's going to remember that. So tonight, what the Wolverines have to do is they have to rebound well on both ends. They've got to give an offensive rebounding presence throughout the game, and they've got to get those defensive boards when they're there. They cannot let Isiah Umipig get loose. We just mentioned he's a scorer. He's a scoring threat constantly, so they cannot let him get loose. And what they have to do is stay patient. Sometimes things don't go well for you in spurts during the game, and you have to realize that it is a 40-minute game. So from the opening tip to the end whistle, stay patient, do what you do best, and things will work out for the Wolverines.
Wolverines play really well at home. They're 9-1 this season on this court. We're going to take a break. When we get back, more of your Costa Vida pregame show. Starting lineups and your opening tip. Utah Valley, Seattle, next.
Brave and bold, silver and gold.
We are on a mission.
Aggie up.
Bronx Country just got a whole lot bigger.
Mighty Wolverines of UVU.
Join the herd. Lopes up.
Bold moves, big season, grew up.
We are the new gold standard.
We will be champions.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Crowd slowly filling in. Utah Valley 14-8 overall. Seattle 11-11 on the season, but it's those WAC numbers that we talked about before the commercial that make a big difference. The Wolverines 8-1 in WAC play. Meanwhile, Seattle comes in here 3-6. Starting lineups for Seattle, averaging a second best in the conference scoring-wise at 72 points a game is the Seattle team. They'll start Clarence Trent at forward, a 6'6" redshirt senior from Tacoma, Washington. Gerald Flora starts at guard, 6'3" redshirt junior. Jack Crook at center, 6'11" sophomore. Emerson Murray starts at guard, 6'3" redshirt junior, and Isiah Umipig, a redshirt junior, starts at guard. He's the one Matt talked about before the break. Starting lineups for the Wolverines of Utah Valley. Mitch Brunel is going to start at forward, a junior from Boise, Idaho. Mitch standing 6'5", averaging 10.2 a game. There's Mitch. Zach Nelson's going to start the other forward spot. He's a redshirt freshman from Yuba City, California, standing 6'7", averaging 10 points a game and 6.2 rebounds a game. Talk about rebounds a game. How about Ben Aird starting at center tonight? 6'9" senior from Bountiful, Utah. 7.5 rebounds a game, 11.5 points a game for the senior. At guard, Keavi Enos, best three-point shooter in the conference, a senior from Mesa, Arizona, averaging 8.1. And then you've got the team's leading scorer, Dick Hunsaker, 13.1 a game. He's a senior from North Salt Lake City, Utah, standing 6 foot tall. The Wolverines come in here averaging 68 points a game, but they've got the #1 scoring defense in the WAC at 64.5 points allowed per game. They are coached by Dick Hunsaker in his 12th season here at UVU. 215 wins versus just 136 losses. Utah Valley, well, they got 6 games left after this one, and 4 of those are going to be at home. So they got to get things started out well at home with a victory tonight to maintain that front-running position.
Yeah, and I look at their schedule. It sets up really well for them because they have 5 of their last 7 games, in the regular season at home, as we said. So I think, going on the road at Chicago State, on the road at Kansas City, to finish out the regular season strong, it's the schedule being at home for so many games really plays into the Wolverines' factor. I should say into their favor.
Clarence Trent will jump center for Seattle against Ben Aird of UVU. And we're underway here at the UCCU Center. Seattle will control the opening possession. Crook gets over to Umipig. Back to Crook for the long 2. Seattle first blood, 2-0.
Yeah, high pick and roll, and the action stayed up top with Umipig, and you had Crook staying up top, playing kind of a 2-man game, and they get the jump shot.
The Wolverines turn it over on their first possession. Ball movement by Seattle. Shot blocked on the drive. Zach Nelson got it. Nelson averaging 1.3 blocks per game. Not bad for a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, pretty good help defense coming over there from Ben Aird. He altered the shot a little bit, but Zach was the one that cleaned it up.
Nelson turnaround jumper and one.
Great position from Zach, and he posted up early and held off the defender while he was on the block. Nice job of being patient around the perimeter, working that ball inside. And Zach had the defender pinned, and what the official called was the defender moving in from underneath. Nothing on the arms or on the hands. So great job of early post play from Zach.
Old-fashioned three. Wolverines by one. Zach Nelson was scoreless in the first game against Seattle. Ben Aird might have got a piece of that one. Back-to-back blocks by the Wolverines. Lead pass, Nelson. Nice block on the trail, that time from Murray. And a whistle following the turnover. That one's going to go against Clarence Trent of Seattle.
Yeah, we've got a pretty up-tempo, high-paced game so far. Both teams looking to be aggressive, getting the ball inside for the Wolverines. Seattle's doing some picks on the ball early and trying to drive. Wolverine defense has risen to the challenge so far, contesting all the shots at the rim and not allowing anything easy so far.
That's already the second foul against Clarence Trent. A minute and a half deep into the game, he goes to the bench for Seattle. The fourth leading scorer on the season. Nelson getting a lot of touches. Goes over to Ben on the drive. Seattle comes away with it. Umipig trying to get separation with Keavi, but Keavi Enos going to be called for the foul, trying to stay with Isiah Umipig.
Yeah, and just 2 minutes into the game, Jim, I can see a trend. I mean, this game is going to be so much about the Wolverines' one-on-one defense against the guards of Seattle, as well as some of the big men who are looking to drive. They get the ball in space, and they're trying to drive and being active. So, to me, it's going to come down to how they can defend the pick on the ball as well as their one-on-one defense.
Rich Brunel pulls down the rebound for UVU. Seattle starts 1 of 4. Utah Valley starts 1 of 3.
Yeah, and watch how active Seattle is, how far out they put ball pressure on the guards for the Wolverines.
Zach Nelson on the drive, misses the layup. Crook there, clean the glass. Deep corners, Flora, no shot. Still 18 seconds on the shot clock.
Wolverines making a quick switch here, Jim, to a zone defense. They were in man-to-man to start the possession. The play call gets Coach Hunsaker to move them into a 2-3 zone.
4 seconds to shoot. Umipig puts up the 3 and buries it.
Wow, Wolverines played pretty good defense there with that mid-possession switch, but when the shot clock's running down as it was, you got to be aware of where the shooters are and can't let it open or give an open shot.
Hunsaker for 3. Bottom. Holton Hunsaker carried this team on his shoulders a week ago tonight at Grand Canyon. A season high 29 points for Holton that night. Just deflated the crowd. 3 back the other way. Brunel kept it alive and pulled it down the loose ball rebound.
Yeah, and back to the 2-3 zone for UVU. They made an early decision to go into a man, but Coach Hunsaker switched up and has now gone to the 2-3 zone.
Keavi for 3. Both teams identical, 2 of 6 from the floor in the early going. Either team off to a great start. Crook clangs one off the backboard. Wow, a lot of contact on the rebound. Well, these officials going to let him play.
Yeah, let him play. It's been, pretty physical contact. I like the no call there. I mean, both players going for it. Could have gone either way, but I think it was a good play on.
Zach Nelson for 3. Wolverines 1 of 3 from beyond the arc here in the early going.
Just making another point, back to a man-to-man defense. So let's see how that plays out through the game, what they choose to, or how they choose to defend Seattle.
Murray for 3. Well, up and over the back of the backboard. Out of bounds. Just under 15 minutes to play. Wolverines with a 1-point lead.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a student with UVU Automotive, and this is my classroom. At UVU, you can graduate with a diploma and a resume.
I hate math. I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at UVU, I developed ways to help kids not hate math. Does engaged learning make a difference? You do the math.
Seattle University, as you would expect, located in Seattle, where they share the TV market with the University of Washington. Head coach Cameron Dollar in his 5th season with Seattle. Rudy the Redhawk, their mascot. They've been in the WAC now. This is their 2nd year. And scarlet and white, their colors, with obviously a black trim. And it is Seattle University, not University of Seattle. They don't like to be called University of Seattle.
Fair enough.
Don't do that. There you see Cameron Dollar, one of the bright young minds in coaching. Although there's a lot of folks in Seattle thinking the team should be better than 11-11 right now. Hayes Garrity into the game for UVU, as is Chad Ross. Hunsaker lobbed it in a little too high for Brunel. Wolverine basketball.
You know, I'm watching defensively for Seattle. I already made the point, but it stands to say again, they're putting a lot of pressure on the guards. Just watch the pressure that's being put at all times that UVU has the ball on the perimeter. So look for the Wolverines to alleviate some of that pressure with driving to the basket, back cuts, and a lot of movement.
Seattle with another missed shot from Utah Valley, who's now 2 of 8. Critt gives over to Umipig. Missed that one from outside. Chad Ross skies for that rebound.
And I don't know how many jump shots they've taken at the junction there, but what they're getting and what they're doing is they're getting a lot of on-ball screens from Jack Crook, trying to get Umipig to come off and create offense, and if not, get the ball back to him.
That'll be UVU basketball. Well, we told you neither one of these teams are on fire right now. 2 of 10 shooting for Seattle, 2 of 8 for Utah Valley.
See, and here's what I was saying, Jim. You alleviate pressure with back cuts and back doors, and that was a design play trying to alleviate that pressure, trying to get Seattle pushing way too far out on the perimeter on defense and opening up a backdoor lane.
Javon Pickett into the game for Umipig, but it's Chad Ross putting one off the backboard. Brendan Evans diving for it for UVU, cannot come up with it. So Umipig taking a breather right now with 3 of Seattle's 5 points. Well, came to a basketball game and a defensive battle has broken out. Flora's got it. Outside jumper for 3. There's B-Dart. The Wolverines with another rebound.
Yeah, terrific one-on-one defense there. You had. Oh, got Brendan Evans inside with some type of an offensive foul.
Brendan Evans called for his first, team's 2nd foul.
We're going to get a good replay here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that.
Doesn't that happen just about every possession?
It does. I mean, you could tell that there
I know
was
the
maybe
way you played.
Yeah, well, it looks like there was maybe some purpose in running into him, but come on, you can't call that. especially when the ball hadn't even crossed half court yet. That's just, you got to let that go.
Even if it had been the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it had been Seattle called for the foul.
That's Seattle's first basket in 4 minutes of action. Just under 13 to play. First half. Another lead change. Garrity. Little floater. Shooter's bounce.
And that's exactly what you have to have if you're being pressured. And I think Hayes is very, very good at driving the basketball. And that's what you have to have when you're being pressured. To loosen up the pressure is some easy drives inside. And a nice finish there from Devon Pickett. Hayes Garrity got knocked off the defense a little bit there, and Devon Pickett with the finish.
It's not a lot of scoring, but there's been 6 lead changes. 8 minutes deep into this game. I told you in the pregame show, these two are pretty well matched up. That's why it was a 1-point game in Seattle. Garrity gets this one to go.
Yeah, and he had a switch out top. We had Shore Adenishkan switched out onto onto Hayes Garrity. Just space the floor, give him some room, and he'll drive and create another drive and paint basket.
Pickett feeds inside to Powell. Cameron Dollar looking to his bench fairly early. Getting a lot of players into this game.
Yeah, nice duck in there from William Powell as the ball was opposite from him. Caught Chad Ross a little bit off guard. Chad wasn't able to stay in front. Again, look at this pressure. It is pulling the Wolverine defense towards the half-court line.
Mitch Brunel kicks out to Ross. He'll drive. Just a shot. Seattle tracks it down. Seattle over Utah Valley. Very low scoring game. UVU's been involved in a couple of these. Ben Ayre, big guy, diving for the ball out of bounds. It'll be Seattle basketball when we get back from this timeout. UVU's done a good job in games like this before coming back. We'll see what happens next. We told you about Seattle. Not a lot of folks around the country know much about UVU because they're a brand new, relatively brand new Division I team located in Orem. We're about 45 minutes south of downtown Salt Lake City. Dick Hunsaker, former head coach of the University of Utah and Ball State. Head coach here in his 12th season. Division I WAC, first year in the WAC, Willie the Wolverine, and green and gold are the colors of the Wolverines here at UVU. Well, I wish there were some great superlatives to throw at you for Utah Valley, but right now there's not. 4 of 12 shooting, just 33%. Only hit 1 3-pointer. That's about it.
Yeah, and I think you can give credit to the defense that Seattle's been playing. They've been aggressive, they've been active, they haven't given up easy baskets, and you know, a lot can be said for the Wolverines, of course, but Seattle has kind of thrown the Wolverine offense a little bit out of whack.
6 seconds to shoot. Out to Crook. I don't think Crook knew it. Crook with the rebound. Can't get it to go. foul against UVU's Holton Hunsaker.
Yeah, and Holton did the best that he could there, but you had a pick on the ball and a switch. So you get Ben Aird switching off on Devon Pickett, who takes the shot. Holton has to roll to the basket to defend Jack Crook, and he did his best to box out. I mean, he got unbelievable leverage on him, but Crook just a little bit too tall, able to reach over. But that's what happens when you have a switch and you get a big guy guarding a guard on the shot, and then you ask the guard for the Wolverines, in that case Holton, to guard Crook on the rebound.
Crook missed the first one, made the second one. Seattle by 2. Matches their biggest lead. UVU's biggest lead's been 1 here in this first half. And we're almost halfway through the first half. Ben Aird gets the feed from Zach Nelson. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective.
Yeah, and I believe it was Holton Hunsaker that set a screen inside, and Ben did a really nice job just curling right around the screen, and the ball found its way into Ben's hands.
Jumper's good. Seattle back by 2.
Yeah, kind of a pick and pop action a lot with any guard that's there, whether it's Devon Pickett or Isiah Umipig, very active in getting a pick on the ball and passing it back to the screener.
Ben Aird, long jumper. Seattle with the rebound. Shooting problems continue for Utah Valley now. 5 of 14. It's 35%. Folks, this is a team that came in here shooting 44% on the season. Seattle inside, reverse layup, good.
Yeah, and once again, Jim, another screen on the ball from Crook and another pop to an open space. You're going to get a quick timeout from Coach Hunsaker, but Crook is setting pretty good screens. That time the Wolverines switched it, so you had Ben Aird guarding the man coming off of the screen, but it's Crook setting the screens, popping, and getting some open jump shots. That time, Seattle gets the offensive rebound and puts it back in.
4 straight points by Seattle, and that's the first time either team has scored 4 straight points here in the first half.
It's been back and forth, and you know, one of the keys to the game, the last key that we talked about was being patient. You know, things aren't going the Wolverines' way thus far in the game, so what they need to do is just remember that it's a long game. Keep running your stuff, keep defending how you've been defending, because I think they've done a very good job so far, and hopefully the tide will turn.
Taylor Brown, Ben Aird, Keava Enos, Zach Nelson, and Holton Hunsaker on the floor for the Wolverines. Umipig, Pickett, Chibagyu, Dedekon, and Crook for Seattle. Nelson goes against Dedekon, can't get it to go. Pickett, long 2. It's a 6-0 run right now for Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle, their offense, they've been spreading the court a lot as well, so that allows for drive opportunities. You have help rotation from the defense and leaves teammates open.
Well, what's new? Another miss for UVU.
Yeah, that's a good shot, though. You had a great screen initially from Taylor Brown. Ben Aird coming in with the second screen, and good shot there from Holton. Just they're a little cold right now.
Might be one of the coldest shooting first halves UVU has had this season. Luckily, Seattle's not a whole lot better right now.
Yeah, great defense in the post there from Zach. Didn't leave his feet on the pump fake and stayed on the ground, stayed vertical, and altered the shot from Crook inside.
Turnover. UVU's 3rd turnover. 3-pointer won't go. Ben Aird pulls down the rebound. Hunsaker splits the D, can't get it down. He'll go shoot 2 free throws though, as he was fouled that time by Emmanuel Chibagyu. Wolverines down by 6. Back in a minute.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
Dick Hunsaker, the head coach here at Utah Valley in his 12th season. Been coaching for over 30 years, and boy, he's put up some big-time numbers. Dick Hunsaker, 381 career wins. Named Great West Conference Coach of the Year 3 times. Dick and his wife Diane, parents of 4 children, including starting point guard Holton Hunsaker and several grandchildren, one of whom belongs to point guard Holton Hunsaker. He and his wife Jessica, brand new parents last summer, I believe. And Holton Hunsaker is going to be at the free throw line for UVU.
And that was a good push from Holton there. And we didn't quite have an advantage. It was almost a 2-on-2, but trying to push that ball, make something good happen, and definitely did by getting to the free throw line. That's going to be, Wolverines yet to have any fast break points. Same for Seattle, but sometimes a play out in transition can get you going and get your teammates going as well.
All right, UVU is not having a good night when Holton Hunsaker misses a free throw. He's one of the best in the country. 87% coming in here.
Back to the 2-3 zone.
And a 3 outside from Chibagwu.
Yeah, that was a nice possession there from Seattle. Late rotation up top for the Wolverines. See what happens offensively for the Wolverines, who they go to. Last couple possessions, they've tried to post up Zach inside, but they need to do something to alleviate this pressure outside.
Garrity splits the defense. Contact. Garrity will shoot 2.
Yeah, and how many times is that's the 3rd time that Hayes has done that exact same thing. Got the ball on the perimeter, driven the lane, driven inside, and had scoring opportunities. Blocking call there. He gets to go to the line for 2.
Second personal against Chibagwu. Trent's already on the bench with 2. (21-14). Hayes Garrity, leading scorer for UVU with 5 points. Make it 6. Well, I guess this poor shooting shouldn't come as too much as a surprise. The first time they played, UVU shot 38% in the first half. Seattle shot 39%. So that's what happens when teams match up so well. Murray for 3. And rebound from Chicago.
Yeah, the offensive rebounds have hurt the Wolverines. Not sure how many that is. That's 4 offensive rebounds for Seattle. So just generating and giving themselves some more opportunities and giving them second chance points.
Lob inside for the easy 2 from the Denikin.
Yeah, that was a nice pass because you have the Wolverines fronting the post on nearly every possession. So if you can get someone who has a little bit of touch in passing and you've got a big guy that's posting up just like that, lob it over the top inside, rotation on the weak side a little late for UVU.
Nelson faked the 3, gives over to Hunsaker for the 3. And it's going to be UVU basketball.
See, I think the Wolverines are getting good shots. That was a great look. They're not getting to fall, so they can't panic. Stay patient, keep running and doing what you're doing, and things are going to turn around.
Alluded to it earlier. Wolverines have been involved in a couple of very low-scoring first halves, and all of a sudden they'll catch fire and just blow somebody out. Both times that they've started like this, they've won by double digits. I'm sure they've waited till 5.5 minutes in the first half to start doing it.
And I'm not sure if we've seen a team that's played total team defense those earlier games as Seattle has. They're very good at first look. They're a very good defensive team.
Garrity missing from outside. Umipig with a rebound. Another three. Zach Nelson in traffic, pull that one down. Inside feed, Ben Aird working against Crook. Tried to kick it out over to Nelson. I think Mitch Brunel just happened to be in the right place. Track that one down. Nice.
Great patience there from Zach. Created a little bit of space for him. Could have passed that ball outside, but again, a little bit too much aggression from the big guy, and a great baseline drive from Zach, and a terrific finish too.
Nelson's got 5 points. Three-pointer, nothing but net for Jarrell Flora.
Yeah, the tough part about playing a zone defense is the offense will spread you out, and you always have to be aware of shooters, of where shooters are, because if you're not, you're going to get in a situation where a couple of passes and that ball finds its way into the hands of the shooters.
This 9-point lead, the biggest for either team. Hunsaker. Wolverines track it down. Everybody had a shot at getting it. Garrity tries to drive in again, and a blocking foul this time on Crook. Jack Crook will be called for his first foul, team's 5th. Brings us to another media timeout. Wolverines down by 9.
I don't think of myself as just an undergrad. Okay, so I'm a sophomore, but I'm at UVU, where it's all about engaged learning. Leading a project on DNA research, I don't have to wait for grad school to get this kind of experience. As a UVU student, I guess you could say engaged learning is in my DNA.
Bus pass, $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. A degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
Wolverines of Utah Valley, we've mentioned it how many times, are in first place in the Western Athletic Conference. The good thing about that is if they maintain that, they will have the #1 seed for the WAC tournament that comes up in Las Vegas in about a month. We'll talk more about that at halftime with the assistant athletic director here at UVU. But right now, they're not looking like the #1 team in the WAC. Down by 9 to Seattle at home. I get the feeling, Matt, that Coach Dick Hunsaker is just searching for something that's going to work.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've seen a lot of players come into the game. You've seen them run different sets offensively. They've done different things defensively. But I really think just, from my days of playing, where we were in very similar situations where, defensive teams are putting a ton of pressure on you. You have to have the type of play that Hayes is giving, because again, another drive to his left, he ends up in the paint, draws a foul and gets to the free throw line. You just have to be strong with the ball, and you have to be aggressive with it when you're being pressured. Defensively, I think they're doing a good job. They've just got to keep that up. If they play that 2-3 zone, make sure they're always spying and aware of where the shooters are.
Feed inside. Denicon goes up with it. He's going to be fouled by Hayes Garrett.
Yeah, a little bit of a high-low action there because you get Crook with the ball after he sets the screen. Another pop from him, and then you have the defensive player fronting inside, and pretty tough play to defend there because the guy fronting, if that ball goes over your head, you don't have much of a chance to stop the play, and Hayes shows that by him coming in and reaching in and getting called for the foul.
Well, if there's a silver lining for UVU, it's the fact that Seattle just not a good free throw shooting team. Just 8th in the WAC.
Yeah,
8 out of 9 teams.
And they've only shot 4 so far. So
tonight,
they're not getting to the line often. It's not a lot of easy and free opportunities inside for them.
They're 2 of 4 from the stripe. UVU 6 of 7. 5 fouls called against Seattle, 4 against UVU. 27-19.
And look at this offensive possession for the Wolverines. It looks like all of their players are above the free throw line.
Ben Air, bottom. Big man can bury the 3 too. He's shooting 36% from 3-point. Excuse me, 40%. Crook trying to show off his range, and Ben Air with the rebound on the miss.
Yeah, Wolverines are going to gain a little momentum with that 3 from Ben, with that defensive stop on the miss from Crook. Here goes this offense again, where they're all lifted above the free throw line. There's nobody down. It's trying to get action around top, opening up opportunities for driving.
Ben Air for 3 again. A little too hard on that one. Timeout, Seattle. Coach Cameron Dollar probably seeing what you were talking about.
Yep.
Wants to talk to his troops about what they're going to do with that.
Yeah, you bring everyone up offensively. I remember times when we've done that before where you're just trying to create a little disruption on the defensive end. You get everybody lifted defensively because you've got Ben that can shoot a 3. You've got Zach that can shoot a 3. You've got guards that you can space it with and shoot it, and you get drive opportunities all the way to the basket, or you get popping opportunities from big guys. And you know, I like the call, love the call there from Coach.
Wolverines down by 5. They have trailed by as many as 9 in this first half. The score's been tied twice, had 8 lead changes. Back and forth they went in the early going before a little 6-0 spurt from Seattle. Wolverines trying to hang tough. 2.5 minutes to play here in the first half.
We're going to get Umipig coming off the screen. Nice job of defending it from Hayes. Here comes another pick on the ball. This is pick, and let's see how Ben guards it on the switch.
Umipig goes over Ben Aird for a long 2.
Yeah, Coach Hunsaker nodding his head because that was great defense. You know, on a switch like that, you don't want to get beat going to the basket. Ben got pressure on the 3, and he knocked it down. Credit to him.
Umipig's got 5 points. Remember, he came in here averaging 18.8 a game. Nelson drives in, dishes off Brunel. Seattle with possession.
I think the last shot was only a 2. They've only given him a 2 points, so he must have stepped on the line.
Umipig tries to dish out, ball slapped away. Wolverines with possession.
You know, this offense, how they've done it, Zach with a nice cut underneath. Comes up just a little bit short on the shot, but the offense there is designed to get a lot of cutting, a lot of moving, not standing in one spot.
The Wolverines shooting a miserable 29% from the floor. Seattle shooting 43%. And yet it's just a 7-point game.
Yeah, and that's the key, Jim. I mean, their defense has been pretty good. It's what's really helped them staying in this game. Their offense has not matched their defense.
7-second shot clock. Colton Hunsaker stripped the ball away. When he did, he stepped on the baseline.
Yeah, anytime you get that screen up top, the player inside is working extremely hard. This time it was William Powell on the weak side, working inside, posting up, trying to get the ball off of that pick on the ball. You see nice entry pass there. And what rotation from Holton. They're swiping down at the ball, knocking it away. And I think Seattle was arguing for a new shot clock because the possession changed, but I think they ruled that it didn't change. I don't think Holton ever really had possession, so 1 second on the shot clock.
What kind of a play have you got on an inbounds underneath your glass with 1 second to shoot?
Yeah, watch for any type of a lob play inside, or obviously it's then going to be a catch and shoot. They tried to run a lob, but Umipig coming off a screen.
Ben Aird pulled down the rebound. His 5th of the game.
Yeah, you had Umipig setting a screen for the lob, then he sprints out to the corner. Well executed, but a good challenge from Hayes Garrity on the baseline.
Nelson. All right, if you're not going to make a layup, slam the rascal down.
Yeah, and he's got that. He hasn't had that finish yet, but he's got the opportunity on those cross-court passes to him. He's taken a couple threes, but that time he said, forget the three, and drove, and what an emphatic finish.
7 points for Zach Nelson. Seattle going to go for the last shot of the first half. It's a prayer that's not answered by Devon Pickett. And the Wolverines pull themselves to within 5 at halftime after trailing by as many as 9 in that first half. In fact, with 4:23 to play, they were down by 9. Now they're just down by 5 as the teams head to the locker room.
Yeah, a great way to finish the half for UVU. You get a stop defensively with 1 second on the shot clock. You get a momentum-changing finish from Zach on the offensive end, and then you get another defensive stop. Great finish to the half for the Wolverines, and despite their poor shooting, only down 5 points.
Wolverines put up 25 shots, made only 8. That's 32%. Seattle put up 30 shots and made 12. It's 40% shooting. Garrity off the bench with 8. Zach Nelson 7. Ben Aird 5. Hunsaker 4. Wolverines down by 5.
People talk about life after college, you know, entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
We're at halftime at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley, #1 in the conference, trailing Seattle by 5 points, 29-24. I think we've got the replay queued up, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, there was a mix-up defensively for Seattle, and you had Shore Adenican coming over way late. But again, Zach has had that look a couple times early on. He shot the 3 before, but that time wide open lane and a very nice finish as you get a shot blocker coming over to try and block the shot. But you know, maybe that's what gets the team going. The Wolverines need just about anything they can after that first half.
All right, let's go over some of the stats for you in that first half. The Wolverines trailing by 5 at halftime. Oh, and by the way, here's the stat everybody wants to know. Wolverines this year, when they trail at half, they're just 2-6. Meanwhile, when Seattle leads at half, they're 7-1.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle in the second half. And you called it, Jim. You said it very early on. These teams match up, and we see the first half, they definitely do match up.
We told you the scoring for Utah Valley right before we took that break. Meanwhile, nobody with more than 5 points for Seattle, but they've got 3 players with 5 points. Adenican, Umipig, and Crook all with 5 apiece. I think we've got some highlights queued up, Matt. once those roll, I'm going to let you walk our viewers through that.
Sure.
Wolverines in that first half, 32% shooting, 40% shooting for Seattle. So the highlights are few and far between.
Yeah, what you're going to see is this right here. Hayes Garrity, 4. I think all of his 8 points came off of all of his drives in the middle of the paint. They're all coming from the right wing, finishing in the paint. But I love the aggression that the big guys have shown at times, because you're going to see the 3 from Ben there that gave him some momentum. But everybody, you've got to have aggression going to the basket, and I think that's what has really sparked the Wolverines in the last couple minutes.
So you were down by 9. If you're in the locker room with the Wolverines, what are they saying?
I think you're saying just what our third key to the game was. Be patient. We know we haven't played well offensively. What we need to really focus on is keeping up our defensive intensity in the second half, because things are going to turn around for them. They always do that. They always do for the Wolverines. If they don't play a good first half, they're going to come out with a lot of energy in the second half and turn things around. So I think they just need to be patient and continue to do what you're doing, and let your players play, I think, is going to be the message.
6 games left after tonight. Wolverines really need to win this thing, so they really need to have a great second half coming out of the locker room. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to talk to Assistant Athletic Director Jared Sumption about the WAC tournament coming up.
Isiah, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Back at the UCCU Center at halftime, Wolverines of Utah Valley down by 5 to Seattle. A surprising score in 2 ways. Number one, surprising that Utah Valley is trailing. Number one, surprised that they've only scored 24 points in that first half of action. So the good news is UVU cannot possibly shoot that poorly in the second half. We're joined courtside by Assistant Athletic Director Jared Sumption. Your take on that first half, sir?
Wow. We're usually a great defensive team, and they got some points on us. That may be our highest point total before halftime, but we'll pick it up. Some poor shooting, but we always pick it up in the second half, and we'll be okay.
All right, we'll be okay. Hey, this is pretty cool, though. UVU, first year in the WAC. They're leading the WAC by a game and a half, maybe 2 games in the loss column, looking to get that number 1 seed in the WAC tournament that's coming up next month.
Yeah, it's a big deal here on campus, Jim. The team's been playing very well. I was fortunate enough to go down with our team and host a booster function last week at Grand Canyon University. Great atmosphere down there, but the best thing about it was we had 130 boosters who showed up to cheer on the Wolverines down there in Phoenix, and the Wolverines got the win. The greatest thing about that is it's helping to solidify our #1 seed for the WAC basketball tournament, March 12th through the 15th.
Now, you said 12th through the 15th. Our graphic says 13th through the 15th.
Yeah. The 13th is actually when the men's tournament starts. The women's team starts on the 12th.
So our women will play on UVU's women will play on the 12th, and then the men will play on the 13th.
Correct.
Hopefully 14th, hopefully 15th. First time WAC tournament attendees. There'll be 8 teams there. Grand Canyon not eligible for 4 years, I believe, after moving up to D1?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
And you said you had 130 people show up to Grand Canyon for a little alumni event. UVU doing anything special to get fans down to the WAC tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot going on. In fact, just today we released 100 all-session passes for $100 a piece. You can go to every single game that the WAC tournament is putting on. That's a $65 discount. So you can pick up those all-session passes just here at the ticket office, or you can call Micah Howard, who's the director of our Wolverine Club, at 801-863-6899.
You better say it again. I didn't even get it.
Micah Howard, 801-863-6899. Call him directly, and we'll get you those all-session passes for March 12th through the 15th for $100, which is $65 off the regular price. I mean, it's just, you can't beat that price for an all-session pass. You can watch all the games, both the men's and women's side, for the WAC tournament down there in Vegas.
And it's going to be held at the Orleans Arena, which is attached to the Orleans Hotel. And if I remember correctly, they've got a lot of discounts going on for rooms down there as well.
They do. They actually have rooms down there for $40 a night for the midweek games. And towards the end of the week, when we're in the championship game, it'll be a little bit more expensive there, but hey, it's going to be worth it. UVU is going to be on ESPNU that game when we're in the championship games, and I'm not just wishful thinking here. We're gonna do this and get ourselves in the dance this year.
I like your confidence. All right, now you oversee a lot more than just basketball. What else is happening with UVU sports that's rocking the boat right now?
That's a great question. You know, another event just prior to the WAC tournament is the NCAA West Wrestling Regional. It's the first time UVU's hosted an NCAA regional. It's going to actually be right here in the arena. We're going to have 2 mats going live. One will be a championship mat, and one will be another qualifier mat. It's going to be a great thing. The NCAA is going to be here. They're excited to allow us to host, and we're putting everything at this, and we've got some great wrestlers going on. That's March 8th right here in the arena. Tickets are only $10 or $5 for young kids, even just $3 for students.
How young do you have to be to get a $5 ticket, Jared?
18 and under. 18 and under.
You're talking kids.
It's
then.
Almost like you're leading these questions for me. It's just perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
I get paid for that.
That's
it's hard
right.
to believe. Jared Sumption, Associate Athletic Director here at UVU. Thanks for stopping by, young man.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you. Stay here for a second. We'll take a break. Back with more.
I felt that the MBA offered me the most in terms of what I could do with it once I graduated. It's international recognition. I could go to Europe, Asia, South America, and people recognize the name MBA. It means that the person that holds that degree has a certain level of understanding of business management concepts and practices, that they can understand what it means to follow best practices in accounting or marketing or sales, and I wanted to have that associated with my name.
Well, the goals that I achieved by enrolling in UVU's MBA program were primarily to gain a CPA so I could do more for customers in terms of going beyond bookkeeping. I also just wanted to make a change in life.
My main reason of why I ended up pursuing it was because of marketability. I wanted to be marketable in case I wanted to say I want to do something different down the line. And getting the MBA opens up those doors if you want to take that change in your career path.
Wolverines of Utah Valley, just 24 points in that first half. And taking a quick gander at the season stats, it appears that this is not the lowest first half UVU's ever had. They had 23 at halftime against Utah State. Ended up losing that game by 11, Matt, but that was at Utah State. This is the lowest scoring first half they've had at home this season.
Yeah, that first half wasn't typical for UVU. So, you have another 20 minutes of basketball here, another half. I will look for them to come out early on in the second half and try and get that ball inside, and I think you'll see them play offensively with a little bit more purpose, a little bit more focus, and I don't think that the second half will be the same as the first half for them offensively.
Well, with all the missed shots, you would expect a whole bunch of rebounds. Seattle had 20 rebounds. Utah Valley had 16. 2 turnovers for Seattle, just 3 for Utah Valley. 2 blocked shots for UVU, both from Ben Aird. I could have sworn Zach Nelson got one of those, but Ben Aird credited with both. Seattle has blocked 1. Both teams with 2 steals apiece. Free throw shooting, Seattle 2 out of 4. Utah Valley 6 of 7. 3-point shooting, Seattle 3 of 10. Utah Valley 2 of 8. Well, UVU, we've talked about it a couple times, 6 games remaining after tonight. And of those 6, 4 of them are at home. Here's UVU's next 5 games. Idaho will be in here on Saturday night, 7 o'clock tip. Next week, the Wolverines have 2 games, both on the road, at Chicago State on Thursday, then at Kansas City on Saturday night. Then UVU comes home for their final 3 games of the season. They'll host New Mexico State in what is shaping up to be a huge game in the WAC on February 27th. That's a Thursday night, 7 o'clock tip, and then Pan American on Saturday, March 1st. And then the Wolverines will close out the season. It's not on the graphic, with a home game against Bakersfield on March 7th. That's a Friday night game. Meanwhile, Seattle, here's their next 5. They'll be on the road against Bakersfield. They'll leave here and fly to California tomorrow morning, where they'll take on the Roadrunners on Saturday night. Then they're at home for Grand Canyon and Chicago State next week, or excuse me, Grand Canyon next week, and then the following week, Chicago State on Thursday. Then Idaho on March 1st, that's a Saturday, and then UMKC on the road. And then Seattle will close out the season on the road against Chicago State. And then that WAC tournament starts. March 12th for the women, March 13th for the men. All at the same place down in the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
One point I want to make, Jim, real quick here is that the first key to the game is that we talked about the Wolverines have to rebound on both ends. They've got to do a great job of rebounding on the defensive end. They've got 14 rebounds defensively so far. But we also said they had to do a good job on the offensive glass, and they only have 2 offensive rebounds. Again, a statistic that we're used to seeing go in their favor and be a lot higher. So let's see if the Wolverines can get some activity on the offensive glass to give themselves an extra shot or 2. And, that can translate to more points. That can translate to just more momentum for them going in their favor. So let's see how well and if they make a point of trying to crash the glass on offense.
Starting 5 for each team in the first half, start the second half. Hunsaker, Brunel, Nelson, and Aird for UVU. And Wolverines shooting at the hot end of the UCCU Center here in the second half. Ben Aird gets it inside, fouled immediately by Crook from behind.
Again, I mentioned a few minutes ago, Wolverines are going to pound it inside early, and that time you get a high-low. Zach on the opposite block that Ben, or excuse me, opposite elbow that Ben was on, and as Zach gets the ball, Ben's just ducking in.
Hunsaker for three, bottom.
It's just amazing how it can be night and day difference. Granted, that's the first possession of the game, and you get a quick timeout from Coach Dollar. He's making substitutions. He realizes how important that start or this start is, and you get a foul very early on. You get a terrifically, if that's even a word, a well-run out-of-bounds play, getting Holton a wide-open three in the corner, and Wolverines off to a good start.
We'll be back in a minute. Wolverines down by only 2 now.
To the young ones, the small ones, the ones they had planned on leaving in their shadow. I know your determination, your heart, the need you have to prove something, the sweat, the miles, the hours that stretch into days and nights and years. I know because I've been there, and now is ours. The earth and the sky are ours, and this is where you belong. Join us. We're waiting for you, and so are they.
Wolverines trailed at halftime by 5. Hunsaker's hit the 3 to open the second half to pull the Wolverines to within 2. So going back to that point where the Wolverines trailed by 9 with 4 minutes 23 seconds left in the first half, it's now a 10-3 run for UVU.
Yeah, they've clawed their way back in it. They've done it with stops defensively and some well-run offensive plays too. And we see the Wolverines enough. We know their skill and capabilities on both ends of the court. That first half just wasn't them, I don't think. And so, you know, it's not going to mean much unless they can continue what they've done on defense here. Let's see how they handle the picks on the ball. Likely you're going to see Jack Crook coming up, setting some picks on the ball, trying to set picks to get his teammates open too.
Seattle finally works it inside to Dennicum. Wolverines come up with a turnover. And a little reach-in foul on the run by Devon Pickett of Seattle.
And that was great weak side defense. Again, Wolverines fronting the post. If you get that ball coming in over the top, you got to have great weak side rotation, and that's exactly what happened there. I believe it was Ben that was coming over for the weak side help, and then Zach gets the ball and off and running.
First foul against Pickett. Nelson inside Ben Aird. Wow, Wolverines showing a little spark here in the second half.
Again, Jim, you get the ball inside, you get a couple easy baskets, you get a foul, and I mean, it can just do so much for you, and love the start so far.
Off the glass, Umipig.
And Umipig, as we mentioned, he leads the WAC in scoring with just about 19 points a game. I think he only had 5 in the first half, if I remember right. So, you know, stands that he's due for a big second half.
Hunsaker misses the 3. Tip-up won't go from Zach Nelson, and Seattle comes away with it.
Good shot. Good effort offensively. You get a tip. You get the ball up on the rim. Nice job there.
Lob inside. Contact. Foul call. Mitch Brunel. His first. Team's first of this half.
And from experience too, when you're the help side or the weak side coming over to help on that lob pass inside, it is so hard to try and be physical and not foul. That time Mitch, a little too aggressive, gets called for the foul.
Three-pointer, Umipig. Well, even the official score looking for guidance. Was it a 2 or a 3?
I think they're going to signal a 3, but I think they're going to look at it.
So right now it stands at 33-29. Rebound off the miss by Seattle.
I thought it was a 2. I thought his foot was clearly over the line. But there are 3 lines, so maybe I was mistaken.
Pick it up and in. Well, it's either 35-29 or 36-29. They'll take a look at the next dead ball situation at the monitor on the replay. Inside, wide open, Ben Air. Wow.
Yeah, Ben felt the pressure. I think it was number 5, Devon Pickett, and Umipig with a long three-point shot. You're going to get the timeout from UVU.
That was definitely a 3. 38-29. Might even be 39-29. Seattle either 9 straight points or 10 straight points.
Maybe they're not going to review it. The officials don't look like they're wanting to review that shot.
Well, the Seattle coaches want them to look at it. There are 3 lines here. One is the old women's line, one is an NBA line, and one is the NCAA line currently for the men and women. So sometimes, especially opposing teams that come in here, when a player gets a pass, looks down.
Yeah, they're going to score the 3, but I mean, to me, that was a 2-point shot.
So it is 39-29. It's a 10-point lead for Seattle and 10 straight points for Seattle. Yeah, that's not the 3 that's in question. That one was clearly beyond the arc. It was the one before that.
I ran down, Jim, and talked to some of the guys who run the score clock there. They're going to review that. At least the word was they're going to review it at media timeout.
Ben Air didn't miss this one. Umipig starting to light it up. That's another 3. Back-to-back 3s.
Yeah, nice screen that was set, and Hayes Garrity got stuck behind the screen. So Wolverines are going to have to either do a better job of fighting over the screen or get some helps from the guy guarding the screener.
Umipig with 16 points. Hunsaker for 3. In and out. Brunel powers it back up and in.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need. You get a missed shot. Mitch is a great offensive rebounder for his position.
Crook can't get it to go down. UVU basketball. Timeout on the floor. Just under 16 minutes left in this one. Well, after a very slow-moving first half, things are really lighting it up here in the second half. Wolverines down by 9.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
We talked about how neither team could get things going in the first half. Here in the second half, 83% shooting for Seattle. They've only missed one shot. They're 5 of 6 here in the second half. UVU better in the second half than they were in the first half. They're at 44%, but that's just 4 out of 9. That's not going to do it when you're allowing the other team to go 5 out of 6.
Yeah, and you know, Isiah Umipig with 11 quick points. I mean, we played 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and he's got 11 points in this second half. So you know, he's sparked the offense.
He is their offense. 16 points. Next closest is Pickett with 6.
Yeah, he has been their offense. So you know, Wolverines are going to key on him. They knew, you know, they had to know coming in that he was going to be the main offensive threat. So, and I went over and looked at the replay with them. That was definitely a 2-point shot, the one in question. So they just took it down from 41 points to 42. Excuse me, from 42 points to 41 for Seattle. Replay confirmed it was a 2.
Messing up my score sheet, Matt.
Sorry. That point may come in to play a little bit later, so got to fight for every point you get.
41-33. Wolverines down by 8. O'Neal having some trouble. Turnover, over and back. Backcourt violation for the Wolverines. Their 4th turnover of the game.
You know, it sounds I sound like a broken record, but again, the pressure on the perimeter from Seattle has been the difference to me in the game. They're just making life difficult for perimeter ball handlers and for the Wolverines to get into their offensive sets.
Trying to stay with Umipig, and he fouled him.
Yeah, you got to give Ben credit there. I mean, he's forced to guard Umipig, who's on fire in the second half. So Hayes Garrity got knocked off the screen, fell to the ground. Ben had no chance or no choice but to come out and help, and you know, he gave shot pressure. He just his shot pressure was not vertical. It was falling into Umipig, and Umipig now with 15 points here.
19.
Yeah,
oh, 15
in the second half. Yeah, amazing start for him.
Wolverines down by 12. Biggest deficit they've faced in this game. Hunsaker trying to get something going. Into Ben, forces it up and in.
Good finish there from Ben, and a much-needed basket. Holton tried to get the initial post up, but a nice pass off and a good drive from Ben.
Pickett. Denicon pulled down the rebound for Seattle. Here goes Umipig again. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, see,
this kid is on fire.
You got to have the big guy step out. The pick, Hayes is not able to fight over. Holton is not able to fight off of those picks. You have to have the big guy step out, and can't let Umipig come off and get a wide open 3-point shot like that.
He's 8 of 13 from the floor, including 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. Wolverines down by 13. Scrum for the basketball. Timeout called by UVU. 14-13 to play. Wolverines down by 13 points. Umipig, official now, 22 points. Next closest player for Seattle is Pickett with 6.
Well, again, it's just setting picks on the ball and allowing them to come off the pick and not adjusting, not having the big man who's guarding the picker come up and give help or give pressure and make him pass it. And he's clearly on a roll because he's making everything in sight right now. And you see Ben, great effort there, diving on the floor. He has possession, signaling timeout.
There's Cameron Dollar out there Saying great job to his players in the scrum.
Yeah, and he helped Ben up too, so nice show there, but appreciates it definitely from his team, excuse me.
Zach Nelson on the drive, drawing the foul from Redhawks. His third. First player on either team with 3 fouls. Hunsaker. Zach for 3.
Nice job probing the defense there from Holton. He drove a little bit. Defender sucked in that was guarding Zach, and a nice dish out. Critical finish and a big-time shot there.
Driving in and a charge. Emmanuel Chibagi. 4 fouls now.
Wow. Zach with the awareness coming over. Looks like we see a replay here. He may have had a foot inside the circle there, but the official called it as a charge.
They showed the replay on the big screen here. We didn't have it.
We didn't have it on the TV. Here goes that lifted offense again, Jim.
Hunsaker hits the deck hard. Denicon hits the deck hard, but the foul is going to be against Pickett.
Yeah, and for the Wolverines, keep being aggressive. You see Holton driving, clear foul there from Pickett on the reach in, but keep driving, keep being aggressive for UVU. You've got 5 team fouls now on Seattle, so one more foul, and every foul they're on is free throws. So that could be a huge advantage for UVU coming down the stretch.
Second personal against Pickett. Nobody for UVU with more than 1 foul. A 10-point deficit for the Wolverines. Hunsaker looking for help into Ben. And one. Ben Aird coming out of the locker room with some fire in his eyes.
Yeah, nice job there of Holton keeping himself under composure, and Ben just with working inside. He's a big body, and Crook is a big body too, but he just pinned Crook behind him, worked his way inside, and strong finish.
13 points for Ben, make it 14. 6-0 spurt now for UVU.
Now watch this matchup off the ball. Holton Hunsaker, Isiah Umipig. This is going to be a lot of screening. Watch Holton chase off these screens.
Wow, with Ben Aird in his face, he still buries the three.
Again, Ben was a little late there. I mean, you have to be there. It's so hard for a big guy to get out there. Holton's chasing off of screen after screen, but you got to be out there and beat him to the spot.
25 points for Isiah Umipig. Still got 12.5 minutes to play in this game. Nelson for 3. Bottom.
Yeah, nice job there. Seattle put a double team outside, and nice job of Zach finding space.
Umipig stripped of it. Turnover. $12 minutes left. First place in the WAC Wolverines, trying to stay a game and a half of their next closest competitor. Need a win here to do it. Ben Aird fouled from behind by Crook.
Yeah, Ben can just keep fighting and posting up inside. He's going to get a lot of opportunities coming down the stretch.
And that is 4 fouls on Crook. So now Seattle's got 2 players with 4 fouls each. Things might be changing here with 11:44 to play. Wolverines down by 7.
Anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
Wolverines of Utah Valley down by 7 to Seattle. Seattle has not missed a three-pointer in this second half. They are 5 out of 5. In the first half, they were 3 out of 10. And guess who's hit them all? Isiah Umipig.
Yeah, 20 points in the second half. You know, the saying goes, Jim, you make someone else beat you. You know, you don't let their best player beat you. But Isiah Umipig is beating the Wolverines single-handedly right now. So Holden is going to have his hands full. Hayes is going to have his hands full as they continue to fight and try and guard Isiah.
Well, right now, the good news for UVU, they're down by just 7. Seems like they could be trailing by a lot more.
Yeah, and you know, here comes the advantage of being aggressive is the free throw aspect again. You know, you got 12 minutes left in the game, and every foul that Seattle commits puts the Wolverines at the free throw line. So you get points when the clock is stopped, and Wolverines are a good free throw shooting team.
14th in the nation, as a matter of fact. There's the jinx again. Sorry. Wolverines down by 6. Umipig getting a breather. He's on the bench. So good news for the Wolverines right now with 11:35 left. Flora working against Garrity inside. Turnaround won't go. Wolverine basketball. They're working it inside to Ben on as many plays as possible. That one won't go. Seattle with a rebound.
Yeah, great job though, Ben, running the floor, posting it up. You know, 8 times out of 10, that's going to be a foul call.
The 6-point Seattle lead. Wolverines tied this thing at 29 coming out of the locker room with 5 straight points, but since then, Umipig took over.
Yeah, foul there on Hayes Garrity away from the ball. I think they called him for holding as you had Jarrell Flora trying to set some type of a cross screen inside.
2 fouls on Garrity. First Wolverine with 2. Forcing up the shot, Pickett. Mitch Brunel picked up the rebound. Hunsaker for 3. Wolverines fight for it. Foul's going to go against Seattle.
Yep.
Devon Pickett. His 3rd.
Zach and Mitch both going up, and Devon Pickett coming in, clearly causing the foul.
8th team foul against Seattle. Wolverines of Utah Valley have been whistled for 3 in this second half. Still 10:26 to play. But as you said last time, Wolverines had a chance to chip into the lead without the clock rolling.
Yep.
There's Umipig checking back into the game.
Yeah, and as Zach shoots these 1-and-1 free throws again, it's going to come down to guarding the ball. You've got Holton out at this point, so you have Keavi in the game, and you have Hayes Garrity, and you're going to get an offensive foul on Ben Aird inside. Let's see who they match up with on whether it's Hayes or whether it's Keavi.
Ben Aird picks up his 2nd personal foul.
Just as we talk about how good of a free throw shooting team The Wolverines are. They go 0 for 2 on their last 2 attempts.
Ben Air steps in front of that pass.
Yeah, good awareness because they were trying to post up Keava inside. He held his ground, and simple pass from Ben to come over and help on.
Aired for 3. That won't go. Powell with a rebound. Umipig is just lightning fast.
Yeah, here comes another screen. Well, he takes away. He's going to try and take Zach one-on-one here.
3. Missed it. Kryptonite. Foul on the rebound inside against Hayes Garrity.
Yeah, we saw that same type of play a little bit earlier when you have a switch, when you have a big man setting a screen, and the Wolverines that time switched it. You had Zach guarding Umipig. You had Hayes Garrity battling inside. When that shot goes up, Hayes is doing his best to block out, but he just doesn't have the size inside. We saw it earlier when Holton was trying to block out Crook, and Holton was called for the foul. Crook came up with the offensive rebound.
Third foul against Hayes Garrity. First Wolverine with 3. He goes to the bench, replaced by Keava, who just happens to be the 5th best three-point shooter in the nation. Second free throw missed, but Seattle controls the rebound. Umipig. He's missed 2 in a row now, but the rebound went to Agdenicon. He couldn't get it up, and another foul against the Wolverines, Mitch Brunel. Second foul against Mitch. 6th team foul of this half.
Yeah, the offensive rebounds really hurting UVU. You know, that time they get another chance and going to the free throw line for Shohei Agdenicon.
Agdenicon 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Seattle as a team 4 of 7. Hey, the jinx works both ways.
Yes, it does. Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Only on this end, sorry.
Yeah. All right. A UVU player goes to the free throw line. I just shut up, okay?
You reverse the jinx.
A lot of people will be happy about that, I'm sure. Agdenicon now 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Or 2 of 4. 53-45. Wolverines down. Wolverines haven't led since it was 10-9 in the first half. Ben Air kicks it outside to Hunsaker. He'll drive in, draw the contact. Seattle with a rebound. Umipig trying to dish off, too hot to handle by the Seattle player, but they'll say the Wolverines, Zach Nelson reached in and hit it last. Umipig with it for Seattle.
Yeah, that's the type of defense right there. Ben was there on time. He beat Umipig to the spot. That's perfect defense there from Ben, knowing that the screen was being set. You almost, if Umipig is going to be coming off of that screen, you almost double team him. Just get the ball out of his hands, make someone else a threat, and make them score.
8:41 to play. Wolverines down by 8. They're trailed by as many as 13 in this game. 10 seconds to shoot for Seattle. Powell hits the deck. Oh, this thing is really getting physical inside.
That's a shot clock violation. That's a shot clock violation.
Off the glass, good as Powell.
Wow, the officials missed that one because that was a shot clock violation, and the Wolverines didn't ever have possession. The shot clock went off.
And a foul is called on Mitch Brunel to pour salt into the wound.
I didn't see what they called. Did they call a foul on Mitch Brunel? They looked as if they were pointing as a technical or for some type of personal foul, maybe not a technical foul, but at a Seattle player.
Things getting a little out of hand here on that possession. Scoreboard showing 55-45. Here we go. Replay.
Yeah, see, you'll see this. The ball never hits the rim. Oh, excuse me, this was the finish. This wasn't the previous play. Let's see what happens. We're not going to get the replay of what happens afterwards, but
55-45. Officials are talking to both coaches. Dick Hunsaker's asking, go look at the monitor. Go look at the monitor. There is an official seated to our left, about 3 seats, talking to one of the officials that's actually on the court calling the game. And now we're set for action again.
So I think
here's the mess.
Now this is originally the ball never hits the rim. No one has possession of it. Should have been a shot clock violation. Seattle gets the ball and then they get the layup as Holton's shooting the free throw, but that was a missed call because that ball never hit the rim. No one had possession.
All right.
And they must have called a technical foul.
Yeah, the foul was actually against Shorey Adenakon, not Mitch Brunel. So Brunel with just 2 fouls, Adenakon now with 1, but it's the technical. So Wolverines down by 8 after all of that. Ben Aird turnaround hook.
Yeah, virtually the same play that the Wolverines ran to start the half. Zach gets the ball at the high post. Mitch sets a rub screen inside. Ben ducks in, and much better at taking his time and finishing that shot.
Ben with 17 points. Umipig misses again. UVU basketball.
Yeah, I think what's going to be the key too, Jim, is, and the Wolverines have done a great job, don't let Umipig shoot a 3. Make him drive. Make him a driver, and he's not going to have as much success.
Timeout on the floor. The second half's a lot more exciting than that first half, wasn't it? Back in a minute on UVU TV.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
Wolverines of Utah Valley down by just 6. I'm sure somebody tuning in late going, what are you talking about, just 6? Well, it seemed like Seattle was just running up and leaving the Wolverines for a while. Led by as many as 13, but Wolverines hanging tough thanks to Ben Aird's 17 points. Zach Nelson's got 13.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Ben Aird coming here in the next 8 minutes, because with Crook having the foul trouble that he's had, 4 fouls, Seattle doesn't have the size inside that they need. And if Ben will just continue to pin those defenders behind him, get his position, take his time once he gets it inside, and don't assume that he's going to be fouled, then I think he's going to have a huge advantage. Eventually Crook's going to come back into the game, but I think they're going to pound it inside.
Coming up on 7.5 minutes left here at the UCCU Center. The place that the Wolverines have only lost one game this year. Hunsaker misses the three. Seattle rebound.
They tried to get that ball inside. They set a couple screens underneath, but again, the pressure outside. Mitch wasn't able to swing the ball around.
Jump ball called. Zach Nelson was trying to call timeout. Possession arrow goes UVU's direction.
Good effort here. I think this was a good jump ball call because you see both players diving on the floor. They both had possession.
Sorry, Seattle direction.
You'll see the replay here. Both players diving on the floor. Good effort.
Back to live action. Murray. Working it inside. Ben Aird might have got a finger on the Adenikon shot.
This is going to be.
Officials don't know. They're looking at each other as to who did it go out on.
That looked like, from my view here, our angle, that was off Seattle. Should be Wolverine ball.
But it's Seattle ball.
It is Seattle ball.
21-second shot clock. Murray gives over to Pickett. 12 seconds to shoot. Flora for three.
You know, Seattle has got a lot of shots coming off of screens. I think credit to the big guys setting some really good screens, freeing up their offensive shooters there.
Zach Nelson diving for it in the backcourt. Another held ball called. This time it will be UVU basketball. Seattle's hit 9 3-pointers in this game. They came in here averaging 7 3-pointers per game. UVU basketball. 6:15 left. Trailing by 9. Zach Nelson, oh my goodness, little hand check foul from Clarence Trent. Hope they don't start calling that stuff because they could have called that all throughout the game.
Yeah, and Zach, much better job here swinging that ball through strong. The last possession where the jump ball was caused, he got a little loose with the ball and got it knocked away. So a nice job there of swinging the ball through and relieving the pressure by driving.
Pickett and Trent now with 3 fouls each for Seattle. I didn't say a word. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear anything, no.
Exactly my point. 58-51, Wolverines clawing their way back into this thing. Down by 7. 6 minutes left at home. Ben Aird almost saved it from going out of bounds. They say he did not.
Yeah, nice job of fighting around. He done a pretty good job of feeling and reading when he should be around front, when he should be behind, and when he should go for the steal. And a nice attempt there.
Pickett with 8 seconds to shoot. Takes it in. And commits a foul.
Yeah. I think Holton will look back and see that tape and realize he caught a break. He was looking away from the ball as Pickett drove to his right, but Holton took a perfect angle, recovered, and took the charge there. Great recovery time there from Holton.
4 fouls on Pickett now. Seattle's got 3 players with 4 fouls. 2 of them are on the bench right now. Ben Aird has had a heck of a second half. Can't get that one to go. Trent with the rebound for Seattle. Cameron Dollar up talking to Devon Pickett saying, take your time, take your time.
Yeah, they're going to want to use the clock. Amazing that, you know, Isiah Umipig's not in the game here.
Denicon missing. Zach Nelson with the rebound.
Yeah.
Under 5 minutes left.
Great defense there from Ben. Just terrific vertical shot pressure.
Hunsaker on the fall away.
Yeah, nice job. I mean, that's perfect because you get the stop defensively and Holton pushes the ball, and you get a timeout here from Seattle, but big time shot there from Holton. Big time defense from Ben.
Hunsaker with 11 points. Pulls the Wolverines to within 5. If you joined us late, it was a very low scoring, very slow first half. Halfway through the first half, it was 12-12, and at halftime, 29-24 in favor of Seattle. Wolverines scored the first 5 points of the second half to tie it at 29, but then Isiah Umipig for Seattle just went nuts, hitting 5 straight three-pointers.
I think you're going to get Jack Crook coming back into the ball game. You're going to get Isiah Umipig coming back in as well. So, and I think what you're going to see is just a lot of picks on the ball. That's what Crook has done so far in the game. He's set pick on the ball after pick on the ball, and he releases and tries to spring his guards to come off of the screens. Excuse me, to come off of the screens and either drive or shoot.
Five-point deficit for the Wolverines of Utah Valley, trying to hang on to first place in the WAC by at least a game and a half.
Here comes that pick, Jim. Ben's got to get out there.
Umipig goes around Ben Ayers for the easy layup. .27 points for Isiah Umipig. Just a redshirt junior, transfer from Cal State Fullerton. He'll be back next year. Ben Ayers and one.
Terrific screen set inside from Holton. Great timing of the play and all about the finish there. Should have immediate timeout here.
That's the fifth foul against Devon Pickett. Leads the game with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Wolverines down by 5, just under 4 minutes left in this one. Don't look now, but Wolverines on a little 10-5 run. They're chipping away, chipping away. Ben Ayers with 19 points for Utah Valley. He leads the scoring attack. Zach Nelson 15, Holton Hunsaker relatively quiet 11 points tonight. Coming off that 29-point performance a week ago in Phoenix against Grand Canyon. But boy, the story of this one has been Isiah Umipig for Seattle, 27 points. And again, not any teammates really close. Denicon has got 8 points. Pickett's fouled out with 6. Flores got 6 for Seattle. Ben Ayers at the free throw line. Worked again. Wolverines down by just 4. Last time it was this close, it was 33-29.
Yeah, watch Holton try and fight over these screens. He's a nice job, Ben, there, forcing the pass from Umipig, but here comes another screen. Holden's got to fight two screens up top, fighting through them.
10-second shot clock. Umipig.
Yeah, that's where you just have to hand it to him, because he split the screen there. He split the help defense from Ben. Ben was in great position. He just took one quick dribble, split it. You don't want him shooting a three. Make him shoot those shots, and when he makes them, nothing much more you can do.
6-point deficit for Utah Valley. Hunsaker throws up the three, had all sorts of contact, no foul called. Under 3 minutes.
Yep, Seattle's just going to use clock here and drain as much time as they can. And Crook's going to come up and set a screen.
There's the screen. Umipig goes left, goes inside for the finish from Powell. 4-point lead, ballooned to an 8-point lead with 2:20 to play.
Now offensively, you got to show a little bit more urgency. You don't want to rush anything, but you got to be sprinting.
Garrity for three. He missed it. Wolverines 3 of 10 from beyond the arc in this second half. Umipig just going to burn some clock with 1:52 left and 14 seconds on the shot clock now. I can't imagine anybody else taking a shot at this point other than Umipig. There goes an NBA three. Oh my goodness. This kid is lighting it up. 32 points for Isiah Umipig. He's got almost half of Seattle's total. And a 4-point lead is suddenly 11. Hunsaker draws the contact again. This one called against Chabagu. That'll be his 5th foul. Seattle's fouled out 2 different players now. A 1:23 left. Wolverines down by 11. Last time the Wolverines led, it was with 12 minutes to play in the first half. It was 10-9. That was their biggest lead of the first half. Well, Isiah Umipig showing why he is the leading scorer in the Western Athletic Conference. Came in here averaging just under 19 points a game. He's got 32 tonight. This is the most points UVU has allowed any player to score against them all season long.
Yeah, and he's done it in different ways too. I mean, he's knocked down threes, which has been his main point or main way of scoring. But and he's driven. When I was talking about you have to make him drive, he drove and finished, and he drove and knocked down a jump shot. So he's shown a little bit of everything tonight.
Well, Umipig came in here with something to prove, because UVU held him to just 6 points in the first game up in Seattle when he went 2 out of 12 from the floor. Tonight, 12 out of 20, including 7 of 11 from beyond the arc.
And the Wolverines are now going to be putting full court pressure on. They're going to likely going to have to go for a steal and then attempt to foul.
Get it into Flora. He's fouled with 1:21 to play. So now it turns into a free throw shooting contest. We mentioned earlier that Seattle not that good from the stripe this season. In fact, they're 8th out of 9 teams in this WAC in free throw shooting at just 64%. Here in this game, they are 5 out of 9. A foul on Zach Nelson, his first. Miguel Flora at the free throw line. Redshirt junior.
Confusion there on the amount of team fouls, but this is going to be a 1-on-1 situation.
Flora on the season, 57% free throw shooter. 1-on-1. He'll have another. Back to a 12-point lead for Seattle. Hunsaker forces up the three, airballed it. Ben Aird won't get it to go. Crook with the rebound. 1:06 left to play. Zach Nelson picks up his second foul. So we'll walk back down to the other end and shoot a couple more free throws. Or a 1-on-1 at least.
Use your jinx, Jim.
He's not listening to me, evidently. 71-57. Biggest deficit of the game for UVU. Garrity forcing up the three, missing that one. Under a minute left here. Wolverines headed to just their second loss at home and their second loss in the WAC. They'll be 8-2 after this. Seattle now 4-6 in the WAC. UVU still with at least a little bit of a lead over Grand Canyon and New Mexico State. Grand Canyon idled tonight. They're at 7-3. So they're a game behind UVU.
We're going to get Crook with a moving screen. He's fouled out.
Wow, who would have thought Seattle would come in here and foul out 3 players. They would have only 1 player score more than 8 points, and yet they'd put up 71 points against UVU, who gives up only 64 points a game. That's because Isiah Umipig.
Yep.
32 points tonight.
You know, and he had a spectacular second half. I mean, no doubt about it. But not to be overlooked, too. This game to me was about 2 things. Number one was Umipig's 32 points, but then also just the constant pressure at every place and at every point on defense for Seattle. The Wolverines never just really found their rhythm offensively. They made runs. They had a couple of spurts of good offensive play, but they just didn't have it from the get-go. And, you know, that first half set the tone.
That should do it. 71-57 will be the final score here. Well, the good news, Utah Valley still in first place in the WAC, but it's going to be by just half a game. New Mexico State currently all over Kansas City. New Mexico State will win that one to move to 8-3. Utah Valley will be 8-2. So now the pressure is on for UVU in these last 6 games of the season. Idaho comes in here Saturday, then on the road, Chicago State, Kansas City, and then a big matchup against New Mexico State here at home. But Wolverines, wow, they got to get something straightened out, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you look at it and say, yeah, the Wolverines still in first place. They have a quick turnaround. You know, they can't linger on this for very long because they have a quick turnaround, a game Saturday night. You see a lot of highlights here, a lot of good plays, you know, from Ben Aird inside. It was just about those 2 things we talked about, the pressure all game long, and then, you know, you get Isiah Umipig just really going off. But, you know, pretty good effort from Ben offensively inside. It just, The Wolverines were never really able to establish what they're used to doing at home.
Wolverines fall to 14-9 on the season. Seattle climbs to 12-11. We already talked about that WAC standing. So the good news is Wolverines will be still in first place on Saturday when we bring you that one. Tip off at 7 o'clock here on UVU TV. Hey, thanks for being with us. Tonight's game produced by students from the UVU Digital Media Department. For Matt Peterson, Jim McCullough. Good night.